I'll be right back. I'm just getting this going here. I'll be back. One more minute. Sorry, guys. All right. Oh, 215 people in here. All right. Sorry. Let me catch up in the comments. Holy cow, what up? Cunning Stunt, Queen Die, Hey Seeds, what up? Rick Arts, Von Michael, just me. Hey Seeds, Nova Big Star, Addis, Ray Taylor. Hey Ben, I'm gonna call you, I promise. GA from California, what up? Mood Lighting, Von Mike, Cunning Stunt, Pluck the Patriarchy. I know you liked that video yesterday, this morning, Pluck. What's up, Sean, Nathan? Dibro Aziz. I'll be making those. Von Michael, be making license plates. What's up? Game over. Retta, what's going on? Ray Taylor, we are the Ant Nation. There's no license. We got punked, and so now they cry. Steve, Ben, Von, Libby, Adnar, what's up? Moist. Hellraiser, what up? Lipru, Laureen, Find the Right Passion. All right, I'm getting through this. Sassy Pants, what's up? Forsaking, already waiting. Sorry, I don't mean to make you wait. Ray Taylor, Proud, Army Girl, Wild Man. Who he plays with? There's a lot of them here. Hey, there's keys too. Look at all the keys. Look at all those keys. They're all lined up to the top. So your hair grew like 3 inches in a week. Ruglin, sorry if I missed anybody. Freedom is not free. Easily distracted. Trucker girl, what up? Windy, what's up? Milkman, Queen Die. All right, I'm skipping. All right, I'm current. Sorry if I miss anybody. I got lots of rest, and It's humid in here. It's a little hot. I didn't want the noise on the outside, so I closed everything. Special K, what up? What up, Oomph? Thank you for taking that little hit there in court. If you guys like my mug. I'm not drinking booze. I leave that to everyone else. I do drink booze. I enjoy drinking. When I celebrate things, I did want a celebration drink after we got them out of DC, because I like to have drinks once in a while, a cocktail. Yeah, talk about vintage. This is a vintage running cup that I had for sale. And I was like, oh my gosh, it says run, run, run. Like, what better prop to use while I'm drinking my Pepsi is a vintage mug. It's unbranded. There's no hallmark or anything. What's up, Dragonfly? I like to drink. I never told anyone not to drink. I'm such a nobody that everyone keeps talking about me, so I'm not sure what that means. I'm really not going to be talking shit about anybody, because I just what's up, Shannon? I'm here for different reasons. We had all the fun with the shit talking and everything, but I'm kind of over it. Like, I do want to address a few things that was said last night to get them out of the way. The first thing is, we were right about JJ telling on that guy about having a gun. I don't know why JJ would tell on that guy for having a gun. For somebody who leans right, that's not very a right thing to do. No booze when protesting cops. Exactly. And I like drinking. I enjoy having cocktails. I love whiskey. 7-7 is my shit. Yeah, it's old and stale. Exactly, Bones. And I do like talking shit. Like, when I drink, I like talking shit. But calling Lori a whore is just not cool at any type of way. I know that Paul doesn't know how to really treat women properly. I don't care who Lori slept with or how many people she slept with or anything. Shit talking is fun. I do it with my friends. We shit talk. They shit talk me. But who's Lori sleeping with or what he slept with? Like, just, that's not cool, dude. Like, just leave Lori alone. Like, Lori busted her butt. Like, she's an amazing. Red Squirrel did last night. Telescope, JJ, we're all drinking, and JJ said that he called the police, or that he told the police that they called the police on that guy. And we were saying it the whole time. That, yeah, and he's facing gun charges on top of it. The guy was actually really nice. If you watch the videos outside of Hagerstown at the gate, the guy was super cool and chill. Like, there was no reason to escalate it, but that's why, like, my reason why I came was because of the U.S. Transportation Alliance. That's why I came from the very get-go. Like, 5 months ago, I did my video about Rat Rod, robbing the convoy, Brandon. Yes, pluck the patriarchy. That was great, wasn't it? I mean, and then they were talking bad about J Matt. JJ was going after J Matt, and J Matt's an amazing. She's a hero to me. She's, I know she doesn't like being, like, she's served her time. She's a very educated and an amazing woman, and brings such a perspective to this whole thing that I didn't have that same perspective. And it's equally as important as my perspective. And yeah, and it's been a shit show, and I love a shit show. Like, that's what's made this entertaining, right? And I don't want to say that it's not going to be a shit show, because I don't know what to expect out of all this or what's next. We have the restraining orders on the 21st. And I just happened, last Thursday, I checked for my trespassing and obstruction charges, and my obstruction charges just happened to be, there wasn't a court case set on Thursday. Yesterday, when I called, the clerk said my court case was set for the 21st. Never got any mail, any notice of the court case or anything. And so it just happens to be at the same time as the six restraining orders, and the restraining orders are in family court. I don't have a right to a lawyer. I don't have a right to a public trial. I don't have a right to really anything because it's an administrative court. Sorry, this is not focusing right. Ray Taylor, hold on, let me see. I'm not an ex-felon. I have no felonies. I was charged with 7 felonies. I did 118 days in a cage. When I say I beat it, I didn't go to jail for 50 years. And to me, that's winning. I don't know about you. No encounter with the police is a win, ever. I beat the felony cultivation case on a Miranda issue, which I use an annotated case from the appeals court of Illinois. The case was Toswana Fort versus the state of Illinois. One incriminating question. The holding of that case was one incriminating question on scene required Miranda. When the officers searched my house, they asked if there was plants in the basement, and I said yes. They did Miranda me 2 minutes after I said yes, after I signed a confession and said yes. So the confession was suppressed because the confession was suppressed because there was lack of evidence, and because the Toswana Fort versus the state of Illinois ruled that one incriminating question on scene required Miranda. So when they asked me if plants were there, and I said yes, I was supposed to be under Miranda, which is embedded in the is that 5th or 6th Amendment? I can't remember off the top of my head. I should know that. That's basically your right to not incriminate yourself. And that's basically what Miranda is. Miranda actually was a rapist or a pedophile, weird enough. I'm going to catch up on the comments. We're just going to start over on the comments. I just want to tell my story here. I want to explain my case a little bit because it does apply to what's going on going forward here next week. So if anyone could come to court on the 21st, that would be great. I plead the 5th. Yeah, that's not to testify against yourself. Exactly, the 5th. And what I had to prove in court when I had the cop on the stand, I had to prove if I was free to go. Now, I know that there was some conversation by Renfair about being under arrest, right? There was a conversation on Wizzy's stream about being under arrest. But see, I personally went through a court case where I had to prove that I was under arrest. And the magic words for being under arrest is, am I free to go? So when I was arrested for the trespassing and the obstruction, there was some very pointed verbiage that I used. And that verbiage was, am I free to go? Because when you're not free to go, they might say that you're being detained, but that's an arrest. When you're no longer able to leave, you are under arrest. No matter how they cherry coat it, they could say all this, they could say all these things, but when you say I'm free to go, so when I was in court, I had to get that cop on stand to say that I was free to go. It was important. That was the verbiage that I used to beat my cultivation case. And that's why I asked the cops when the West Virginia state trooper came to the Virginia side, and I was in Virginia, he had no right to do any of that. I asked him if it was under threat of arrest, because that's just as good as being under arrest if you're under threat of arrest. I asked that language, and then I gave my ID to him because he technically threatened me with arrest for something that when I was in Virginia. And it's petty, but those lines matter. Those borders matter. You want to talk about borders and imaginary lines, but when it comes to jurisdiction and the authority and the duties and obligations, they don't have any duties and obligations in the thing. Now, they could say that they were doing a citizen's arrest, but that's another topic. But I asked him if I was free to go, and he said I was not free to go. I was under arrest at that point. Okay. So you could say that it's not under arrest, and because of the verbiage, when they did my house, they searched my house, but they called it a protective sweep. Now you could do a protective sweep. It's all the language, but what they say and what the reality is and what the Constitution is are two totally different things. And I got it locked. Yeah, sorry. So that language is important to know. And I feel like I haven't been talking about the Constitution enough. And I've been doing more shit talking than talking about the Constitution. And there's one thing that I'm hoping to do is uniting the left and right a little more, right? But okay. So that's all about the language, about the arrest and what arrest is. And you don't have to give an ID if you've not committed a crime. If you've committed a crime, you have to show an ID. When you're in a car, you have to technically show an ID. But if you're walking, you don't have to show an ID. And that has to do with everything with the Fourth Amendment. So the Fourth Amendment is important because you have to be able to stand up for those rights. And giving your ID every time, which I did do a bunch of times. I chose the path of least resistance for all that, but there came to a point where I had to stand up for my right to the Fourth Amendment. So that's I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Of course, I always jump around, but I'm gonna try. I didn't even write. I was gonna write some notes, but I didn't write notes. That's some of the language of the court stuff. I wanted to address that. Jay telling on that guy with the gun, that was super shady. That affected that guy later. No reason to do it. The guy was being very calm and collective. He claimed to be a libertarian. I don't know if Jay knows what a libertarian is. Maybe he just is so stuck in that little Trump thing that he can't get outside of that to know what a libertarian is. But most of my libertarian friends are kind of leaning right towards the Trump side. Most, not all. I have a lot of libertarian friends. Okay. I believe we were successful in getting them out of Bunker Hill and DC. I think you guys all might agree with that. Like, they splintered into two groups. They kicked out Dom. Like, all sorts of things happened. The restraining orders were just a way to cover that reality. We were successful, like Lori and AP and Trucker Girl and Pluck the Patriarchy and Direwolf and West Virginia Peacemaker. I don't remember. We all worked, and then we had some special appearances by people. I'm not going to take credit away from Telescope and JJ and the Squirrels, right? Like, and I never wanted to be a leader. I never thought I implied that I was a leader. I just kind of stuck up for myself and what I wanted to be associated with. I know Paul keeps saying that I was trying to be a leader and this and that. If you watched a video of me calling him out for drinking, that wasn't what the case was. I just didn't want to be associated with the getting drunk. And they did some work. Now, they weren't around that much. They definitely weren't around in Bunker Hill. They weren't. Telescope came for an hour or two, maybe tops. He was drinking in the car half of the time, which is fine, whatever. But like, you weren't involved with that. The squirrels came for a little bit. Like they maybe had like maybe 8 hours total those last 2 days. I'm not sure. Yeah, it was Lori and me. Like we did a lot of work. We were there all the time. Like you could talk whatever trash, like, but the reality is we were there. And I love you guys talking trash about me. It was great. I mean, I love that JJ said he told on the guy with the gun. Like you couldn't have given me like that blessed me. And yeah, Telescope got the permit, but like Telescope, I did talk to him for hours. He would call me and he said that he was going to do some FoIA requests and all this stuff. He didn't do any of that. Squirrel said that they were going to go to the permit office and find out about the zoning department. They never did any of that. They really weren't at Bunker Hill at all, except to the very end. And so, yeah, and I'm not going after today. I'm not really going to touch on them anymore. They're pretty much out of my world. I did want to touch on the suicide thing in court. Was I scared? Yeah, a little bit. I've been through jail. Like I wasn't really scared. The suicide thing, there's actually more to the suicide thing that I can't converge. I can't give that information yet because of what we'll call it hashtag jail loyalties, I guess you might say. But there was more to the suicide thing that I just can't share because there's still a possibility that I could go back to jail. And I ain't trying to say something I shouldn't say that could affect me if I do actually end up back in jail, because there is a small possibility that I can go to jail. And yeah, I put in a lot of work there. And so did Lori, and so did AP. AP did a lot of work, and so did Direwolf and Pluck the Patriarchy. We all put in a lot of work. My court dates are on the 21st at 10 a.m. and 10:15. So I have to go. I already have a note in the 10:15 case for the obstruction and trespassing. I'm going to go early. I'm going to file something on paper that says that I have in family court on the same in family court at the same time that I have a court case at the same time. I don't want them saying that I didn't appear, so I'm going to make sure that I put it on paper and I file it, and I go and talk to that clerk in the judge's clerk, because there's a clerk, but then there's a clerk in the courtroom. So I'm going to go and talk to her ahead of time and let her know that I have a court case over here. I'm going to check in so that they know, and hopefully they don't pull any funny stuff, but I don't know. Like, so if anyone could come there at 10, that would be great. I don't think you could come into the family court. Why it's in family court? You don't have constitutional rights in family court. And know that I do a lot of misdirection. Okay, if you guys haven't noticed, I've said things and done something else. And are those lies? I don't think so. That's misdirection to misdirect people, right? I used to be a magician. I'm like a master at misdirection. I don't know why this thing just won't stay focused. All right. I'm a master of misdirection. So yeah, I don't know. That was for like talking about behind, right? Because the misdirection is always behind. You're always like 2 steps ahead of that misdirection. And then you kind of tell them ahead of time and you know what's going on, but you don't know what's going on. So anyways, back to the court stuff. I have a very good lawyer for the restraining orders. Okay. And I want to go over the restraining orders a little bit, let you guys know about them. I haven't really said much about them. I'm not going to be mentioning any of the names. But I have a great lawyer, and I want to read this to anyone who might be watching, because there's a lot of stretches of what you're saying. And unfortunately for you, if it turns out that they're not true, that's actually and I'm not sure if you read this in the petition, so I'm going to read this. Notice to petitioner, because that's what you are, is a petitioner. I'm going to read you right off of the stack of restraining orders, because I think it's important that you know that knowingly providing false information in this petition is a misdemeanor. And upon conviction is subject to a fine of no less than $50, no more than $1,000, or confinement in jail of 90 days, or both. So if you fill this out and you said things that are not true, that's a misdemeanor and it's a crime. Okay. So just know that, because I'm paying attention. We're paying attention, right? And I want to go over some of the things that were said in the restraining order. I'm not naming anyone personally. This was on 4 or 5 of the 4 or 5 of the petitions, minus, I believe, 1. Let me take a look actually real quick. Probably should have done this. That's 1, 2. They copied it word for word. So usually when you write a petition, you're supposed to write in your own language. You're not supposed to copy, because it doesn't all apply to everybody equally. Whenever you're writing a legal paper or writing something for court, you want to write it in your own hand with your own word, because you're not supposed to be petitioning and swearing an oath to something that you don't know is true. Okay. All right. One, two, three. Sorry, I should have done this ahead. 4. All right. Want to make sure. All right. One person had a different story than the other 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people went with the same exact printed word. It's literally word for word, and it actually looks like it was photocopied. Doesn't even look like all 5 of them did this. Okay, minus 1 person. 1 person changed up. Well done with that 1 person. Okay, so this is what the detail, the nature and extent of the act specific above for what is relief is being sought. Okay. Cease of videotaping and live streaming individuals at residence. At the residence. Okay. That's the first one. Second one, repeated credible threats of body harm and harassment online. That's 2. The first one, residence. Is a truck stop a residence? A parking lot a residence? When you stay at a place for, what is it, a week or 2 after you move, aren't you supposed to change your address? 3, do you have a lease or some type of contract claiming some type of residency, a hotel pass? That would be a temporary residency. So that's just on the 1. That's just on the fact of the residence. Your driver's license didn't state that. You didn't have that in the driver's license. So some people use that as a residence. And your residence is on your driver's license. So that's why officers always ask you, do you still reside here? Because that's a crime. So, all right. So that's the first one, that wasn't a residence. Okay. Might be a temporary residency, but I don't think so. And I believe you're supposed to have some type of contract or some type of thing saying it. So the first one. So the second one, credible threats of body harm and harassment online. So let's go with the credible threats. Repeated credible threats. I never threatened anybody. So this lawyer is going to have a field day with these guys if they actually show up, because you're not supposed to lie. You're not just supposed to tell things that are not the truth. Okay? That was not truthful. Okay. Number 3. Online harassment online, including slander and defamation. Slander, defamation, threats of bodily harm, live streaming of residents, spreading of lies. Okay, spreading of lies. Hashtag, or an example, pedophile protectors, cult members, etc. So spreading of lies, I'm not sure where that falls under any type of legal under any type of legal thing. The spreading of lies, like, I think that would be under slander and defamation, but I'm not sure. There really isn't even a doxing. Okay, that's so I'm jumping ahead here. There's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of alleged things that I was doing. Pedophile protectors. Wyckoff said that Bandit was there. Bandit was in DC with them, with the 1776. Now, this isn't 1776. They're coming as individuals. They're not coming as a group. Big D, Hippie Mama, Santa, Oreo, Matt, Jalen, all kind of the bigger players. No one's in this. This is just like throwaway people who aren't really mean anything to them, that they could just toss away. They don't care if they commit a crime. You guys are being used by them, really, is what is going on. And you're coming with information that's just not true. I didn't threaten any body harm, so that is just not a truthful thing. On top of it, you guys made some mistakes in hugging me. When Big D hugged me, and when that other person, I can't say who it is, hugged me, don't put it in the comments, please. They invited me in. You're going against what you're saying. Okay, so you're making a claim that I'm bad. And whatever the thing is with Bandit, right? We know that the stories aren't matching up. We know that Wizzy probably should have had him on at the very beginning. We know that Santa lied about Bandit and that's what I'm going to focus on, are the lies of Santa. Because Santa said all the lies, right, about Bandit. It wasn't that Bandit didn't do it or anything. They went with all these different lies over and over again. Some played dumb. Some pretended they weren't there. Some said Wyckoff pretended. And, all right, I'm getting distracted. I do want to say something about last night's stream. I love how Telescope and Red Squirrel are totally in touch and hanging with Wyckoff. And I love how Oreo shouted out Wyckoff. And I love how Wyckoff keeps putting hashtag Oreo Express in all of his videos. I love how Red Squirrel and them are cool with him, like after he lied about Bandit over and over and over again. I love how Ross is cool from the Florida Convoy, how he's cool with Wyckoff after he put out his criminal record of the cocaine, which I didn't care that he did it. Wyckoff was an informant, and Jersey J is an informant. He told the cops about the dude with the gun. He's a snitch. He's not for freedom. He's about JJ. He talks shit about J Matt. Red Squirrel talks shit about Lori spreading her legs and all this. Who cares? Like, what does that even matter to anything? Are you jealous that Lori got much more attention than you? Like, I love that you guys talk shit about me for like, you couldn't get my name out of your mouth. I'm so in your mouth. Like, I love it. Like, if you guys just would have showed up a little bit more, it would have been a different story. And Wyckoff, that shows everything. Oh yeah, and another thing about the stream last night with Jersey J and Telescope and Red. I got screenshots of the people that were in there right off the get-go, and Appalachian Flute and Soup Mama were in there saying what up. Now Hippie Mom or Soup Mama, if you guys don't know who Soup Mama is, you guys are going to need to start learning about Soup Mama, because they're trying to convoy still, right? They're still trying to convoy. Yeah, they gave me gifts. They weren't afraid. They claim that we were stalking, yet they followed Lori to the Waffle House numerous times. They sent a package that we didn't want behind our cars, and they claim we're stalking. We went to the courthouse, where you're allowed at the courthouse. You're allowed in the parking building. You're allowed in the parking garage. And you filmed it and you said we were stalking. That's not stalking, Jalen. You got to learn. I know you're like just so like, there's no pedos here. Let me hold the American flag. Freedom. But like, freedom is the freedom to use public places. And all sorts of journalists go to our paparazzi stalkers when they go to court cases. No, don't be dumb. Just stop being dumb. It's not what a patriot really is. And I don't want to even be called a patriot. I'm about freedom and the Constitution, and I wish this thing would stop focusing. So I'll getting back to the restraining orders. Hopefully I'm going to change the camera scene if it doesn't stop refocusing. All right. Yeah, so it was lies that we were a pedo protector, right? Let's do a different side here. So it was lies that we were saying that they're pedophile protectors, which WYSIWYG pretty much made clear that there was a pedophile in there. Wizzy tried to get me to do an interview, and I said I would talk to the girls, and I got a hold of Lori. I talked to Lori, and we decided that I'd much rather give interviews to people that are like good people, like honest, not liars. WYSIWYG's been lying for 5 months. WYSIWYG, okay, all right. I'm gonna get through this, and then I'm gonna get back to the WYSIWYG thing, because it's important that you guys know where my dislike of WYSIWYG comes from. But I want to get through the restraining orders, because that's kind of something I've been meaning to talk to. Sorry for getting off track. There's so much going on in my head. It's buffering. Is it buffering? Yeah, no, I'm not giving Wizzy an interview. I'm too good for him. Seriously. Back to this, and then I'll get back. I'm gonna jump back over there. Okay, cool. Bones. All right, so including slander and defamation online and spreading of lies. Okay, pedophile protectors and cult members, which they were. Okay, and then threats of physical beatings and doxing of personal information. Now, I didn't know who, out of all 6 of these orders, I didn't even know who the people were. I only knew one of the 5 or one of the 6 people. So how are you going to say I was doxing you if I don't even know your name, let alone your home address, where you work, or anything? Even the one person I knew, I didn't even know the name. So how can I dox you if I don't even know who you are? I still don't even know who somebody is. Like, I think I know who the person is, but I'm not even sure. So even if I did share the information, it wouldn't be doxing, but I don't even know you to dox you. Some of you have only been around for a couple days. So it's insane. Run. It's absolutely amazing. It's amazing. So that is the nature of the petition. Okay. And they're requesting the order to be effective for a period of 2 years. Now, they are the throwaways, and if they win, it doesn't even matter. I've never even talked about any of them, so except for maybe one, but that's only because I might have been attacked by that person. But the order to respond to refrain from committing or threatening to commit any sexual offense, harassment, or threats against the petitioner. I haven't done any of that yet. Order the respondent to refrain from contacting, attempting to contact, or harassing the petitioner directly or indirectly or through third parties. Haven't done that because I don't even know most of these people. Order the respondent to refrain from entering the residence of the petitioners. What is your residence? The parking garage? Most of them are homeless? Like, okay, how am I'm not even going to go to your residence. I don't care about your residence. Stay away from the place of employment, school, or residence. I don't know their school that they go to. I think most of them are too old to be in school. I don't think any of them have jobs, so I can't go to their employer. Order the respondent to pay the fees and costs related to the proceeding. I'm probably going to bring a fee schedule too. And because if I'm not guilty of this, then they have to pay for me, right? Is that how it goes or no? Is it only I have to pay for it, but they don't have to pay for it? And it says, I am currently living temporarily or permanently in Berkeley County, state of blank. They barely filled out any of this petition. So, and this was done on the 1st of September. Okay. Let me see if, yeah, and they swore under oath, man. You swore under oath. Upon oath or affirmation, blank, blank, I'm not going to say their name. Upon oath or affirmation, say that I am the petitioner named in the petition for personal safety order, and the facts contained herein are true, except for they are started to be by information and belief. I believe them to be true. So usually I say that it's by information or belief. You know, like I'd like to have a caveat in things I say by it's a belief. Like when I'm in court, it'll be all by belief. But you didn't say that. You stated it upon as a fact. So swearing an oath in front of the notary is perjury and a misdemeanor. So think about that before you come in and continue on with that action. So those are the restraining orders. Like I said, I got a good lawyer, and we will be going after them if this is all told to be not true. So it hopefully they just don't show up, and then this just gets squashed, and then it's over. It would be foolish of them to come in, but they might come in, and I don't know how. I don't know how this is. And this is the different one. This one was written differently by one of the petitioners. Months of day-night stalking and harassment. The video of children and myself using bathroom and counting as we use the bathroom. Children's name on dark web with pictures and address. I don't know anyone's children's. I don't know any pictures. I don't know anyone's addresses. Threats of saying kidnapping my kids was okay. I can't read this because it would tell you who it is. Stated he'll never leave us alone. So that's the restraining orders. Okay, big stack of them. Like I said, got a good lawyer, so hopefully you know that that's a misdemeanor to not tell the truth. And I'm not really worried. I have nothing to lose here. None of these people. I don't have kids. Thank God. I don't want any kids. I don't think. I don't know. I haven't met a girl that I want to stay around with long enough to have kids.
So when they filed the restraining order, now their call to service was what? Is that normally how you serve papers, Berkeley County? Is that like, yeah, I don't know, what anyone's putting in those comments or anything. I'm not, yeah, keep the names out. If you're putting names in there, please don't put the names in there. So this is the FOIA request. They happened to bring it when they served the papers, which is, I thought that was odd. This FOIA request was requested to be emailed. They didn't email me. They said, West Virginia Freedom of Information Act request, Mr. Scott Hochstetter. This letter is in reference to your Freedom of Information Act request, which was originally received by the office on the 26th day of August 2022. Now, I sent another one that I have not received back of when we called the 911 and they didn't dispatch anybody. I have not received anything about that. So I'm going to be putting in another request for that same information because they never sent me this. They sent me this one though. So at this time, the Berkeley County Sheriff's Office is unable to release this information because it involves active criminal adjudications. This FOIA exemption applies to criminal, civil, and regulatory law enforcement records. The requested information should be provided by the state during the discovery phase of your criminal case. I would encourage you to request the documents from the prosecuting attorney's office during the upcoming. Okay, so there's some it's a valid statement. I've gotten papers through FOIA requests many times through a FOIA request before discovery. In fact, we would get FOIA requests from inmates in jail because of the public defenders would not give them the discovery because the criminals aren't supposed to know about what evidence is used against them. So we'd FOIA request the police departments, and we usually get the information, at least in Illinois, at least in Kane County, we would. In Cook County too. So we will be filing a motion to compel discovery in the case. It's gonna be real simple. What we're asking for, the notarized letter of the trespass from the owner, which is gonna be hard because the property's in probate and within a trust. So how they're gonna pull that out of their butt, I'm not sure. 2, gonna ask for the testimony of the owner of the trespass, and 3, of the notice of trespass when I was given notice, because no one gave me a notice for trespass, and you're supposed to have a notice of trespass. Okay. All right, all right. Let this serve as the department's final response to your Freedom of Information Act request. We consider this matter to be the end under the conclusion on the ongoing court process. Captain T.D. Heckman. So that was the FOIA request. So I will be asking for that same information in a compelled discovery. We'll be putting in a motion for return of property for my cell phone. And I'm going to put a fee schedule in for court costs and for use of the phone, because that's my property and you can't just take people's property. It was live streamed. I have evidence on that phone that I want to use for that. I really don't think that case is going to go far, but I have no idea. In court, I've learned that anything is possible. Okay. So that's that. I'm gonna go over this a little bit. Sorry, I just have a lot to say. I've just been kind of chilling the last couple of days. I hung out with my friends, and I'm heading back out that way soon. So I'm just getting a lot of my eBay store put together. I'm going to share my eBay store later. If someone wants to purchase anything from me, that would be a great way to support me. I'm going to have it on for a few more days, and then I got to turn it off. I've been catching up on all my eBay stuff and all my pictures and everything. Yeah, they tied me up, and it's cool. Like, we won. Like, we got them out of Berkeley County. We got them out of DC. Just because I wasn't there, just because they filed these bogus restraining orders, doesn't mean that they won. My store name is the Rewilding Store. Rewilding Store. So if you want something from my store, just you can send me an offer. Or if you want multiple things, send me an offer. Tell me who you are, like your screen name and everything, and I'll hook you up. So yeah, and we all did it together. Everyone in the comments, I have to make a video for all my donations in the next day or two. I'm gonna get that up. I appreciate all you guys all made this happen. And Direwolf and Trucker Girl and oh, I haven't mentioned somebody, and I need to mention that person. So there's a person, you know who you are. She doesn't want any credit. She doesn't want any money. She doesn't want any fame. There's two people actually that are kind of behind the scenes connecting dots and doing a lot of research and watching all the different streams. But I love you girls. You guys are amazing, and you don't get any attention, but you guys are so fundamental into making this happen. And my girl specifically, you know who you are. Like, I love you, man. Like, thank you for having the spirit to like protect the children. And because that's what she's in this for, is to protect the children, and the children running around the lot and in the parking lot. That's what she signed up for. And you're an amazing soul, and I couldn't have done this without you. You've done so much research, and I love you, and you're much appreciated. And all you have just helped. And if I haven't given people enough credit or anything, I'm sorry. I'm human. I make a lot of mistakes. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be. I really don't. Yes, great Telegram information. Hats off to her. Yes, she's running the Telegram, the Defender Advance on Telegram. So my store name is the Rewilding Store on eBay. I had all the other platforms, but I've been too busy, Macari and some of the other ones, but I'm just on eBay, and I had 3 stores. I'm kind of down. Yeah, Rewilding. Yep. So if you want, you can make right now. I don't have as much cool stuff because it's been like, I really haven't been hitting it hard since February, since the beginning of the convoys. I kind of just walked away from it and put it on hold. So a lot of my good stuff is sold out, a lot of my vintage stuff. So yeah, if you want to help out, I'm not asking for just like donations. Like, all the donations help. I'm gonna need a little help later on here, but I'm good right now. I got my rent paid up till the next month, and I have enough money to pay for the phone because I'm making payments on the phone from being arrested and them confiscating the phone. Where the rewildings are. Yeah, so rewilding, that was kind of something I wanted to do. I wanted to have a rewilding tour with a couple of Astros and like go and do waterfalls and do like a moving Airbnb, like with turn down service, where I'd like change the sheets and provide campfires and meals, like 2 meals a day, and then provide logistics for the next adventure. It's kind of like a plot your own thing. It's been kind of a dream of mine for a few years. And it's kind of like convoying. It's pretty much like convoying. You just go from place to place. That's why convoying kind of was fun for me. Like waterfalls and caves and springs and mills. And like, I've been to all sorts. So like, I want to do a rewilding tour where I had like 4 or 5 Astros. We have all the parts in the car, but that's all different thing. That's just one of my dreams. This is non-booze. I'm okay with you guys drinking, no matter what anyone said. I'm lots of engine rebuild kits. Is this you? I'm not sure what you mean by that question. That's bullshit. I'm missing old mines. I love going to like some mines. I sent you an email. I got an empty cabin near a waterfall in Washington State. Oh, cool. Yeah, like, and I got a lot of people that I need to call. I'm gonna call you. I'm sorry. I just been taking a few days off. I needed time off. Um, I just been overwhelmed with like emotion, and I just needed to get away from everything. Auction that mug. I'm gonna auction the gift bag that they sent us and the flag to my van. I gave my other flag. I cut both the flags off, and I gave the one flag to oh gosh, I forgot her name. I know it. Uh, Stacy. I think it's Stacy. I forgot. I gave it to her. I just stopped by randomly. I did a garden tour. I think it's Stacy. I'm probably wrong though. Stacy, Cindy. Oh my gosh, I'm having trouble keeping track of all the names. I remember things of people, not the names specifically. Okay. So I just want to talk about. So I talked about that. I'm going to talk about this paperwork. So this is my. These are my papers for the case, for the trespassing and obstruction. I didn't sign anything. Nothing has a defendant on it. They're misdemeanor charges. $1,500 bond. Didn't sign anything. And supposedly it's trespassing and an obstruction, but we'll see how that goes. I'm thinking that they might try to drop the trespassing charge and just go with obstruction, a secondary charge. But I wasn't even trespassing, but I'm still bearing the weight of this case. And like I bear the weight of those 7 felonies, 38 or for 38 months. And people who bear the weight of a court case for standing up for freedom is the foundation of America. It is what makes it is people, and I'm not special. I did it because of me, right? Like, but I did it because I believe in my right to grow a plant in Chicago. And I didn't hit those officers, but I didn't just go and say, yeah, take me away. I stood my ground and I grabbed onto the bar and they pried my fingers off, and I never touched one of those officers. They beat on me, but I did get charged with 6 felonies for allegedly hitting those officers. I never hit them. I did call them effing pigs, and I deserved what I got for saying that. I've learned my lesson somewhat. So that is what a patriot is. Every great man has a great trial, and is a foundation of where our Bill of Rights and stuff comes from, people who bear that burden of a court case. And I've been going back and forth. If I just don't go back to West Virginia, if I just take a plea deal, there's a chance that I could go to jail for 6 months. I think it's time in, time out, which would be, it's a year, which would be 6 months. There's a possibility that I could go to jail. Like, you just never know. And I don't want to go to jail, but I think that I'm going to fight it all the way to a jury trial. There will be a demand for a jury trial. I don't think I'm going to go to jail, but if you've been to court or have experienced court in America, you would know that it's like the Wild Wild West, and you just never know what you can, what to expect. And I am thinking very positive, but I'm also preparing for the worst, right? And what's up, West Virginia Peacekeeper? So if you guys could come on September 21st to court, and I'm going to stay out there. I think my friend from Texas is going to drive out, and we're going to go. I got some protests that I'm going to be doing. I don't want to specifically say what I'm going to protest, but I will be doing some protesting after the court case. And possibly a different organization. You'll see. It should be interesting. It should be fun. And then I think we might go up to Maine for a little bit. I'm just one person, right? There's so many of us, and we could all effectively work on what's next, right? What is next? So I just want to talk about some of that. I came because of my experience at the convoy, right? I heard Rat Rod saying that he was going to rob the convoy. He said that he was shooting at Antifa and that he was changing a tire and someone threw rocks on him and he started shooting at Antifa. Right when he said that, I turned on my camera. I only had 45 seconds of storage left in my camera, but I captured him saying that he was going to rob the convoy. I brought it to security. Security didn't want anything to do with it. Wizzy dragged my name through the mud after that. That was all of them. Oreo, Taco Joe, they all dragged my name, said that I was nobody and that I was Antifa and that I was this and that. And I'm probably more right-leaning than all of those guys combined, to tell you the truth. My YouTube channel is older than all those guys combined. Which is the craziest thing, that I might be more right-leaning on them on a lot of issues. But I'm going to align with anybody who is against them. And I lean left on a lot of stuff too. But so that video got me to leave, and Hippie or Soup Mama was the reason. Now Paul and them and Jersey J wanted to say that that wasn't the truth, but that was very much the truth. I went and got high with Soup Mama in the car, and her husband went walking away, and Appalachian Flute was sitting there. He got that video of that rat rod, and they were supposed to do something with it. They were going to send it to the Veritas Project. That was what Appalachian Flute told me. That was all bullshit. I didn't believe them, but we got high. I was already paranoid. I got more paranoid when I got high. And Soup Mama was telling me there was dead bodies next door. And I didn't believe her, but she got me more scared. She took advantage of me where I was already scared and increased that fear, right? You didn't ignore me, WYSIWYG. You said that I was wrong about it, and I wasn't wrong about it. I was right about Rat Rod and Big D, who was in the back of that pickup truck. They did rob the convoy, and they took over the convoy, and they formed 1776 Restoration Movement. Now, where the People's Convoy and the 1776 divide, or how they overlap, I'm not 100% sure. And the 1776 and the Freedom Outlaws, how they connect and how they connect to the TPC, I'm not 100% sure. What I can say is how the transition happened, and that the players who transitioned, how they transitioned into the 1776 Restoration Movement. Rebecca from Telegram transitioned the Telegram page. Chris Young from Facebook with Marcus Summers, he was an admin for a lot of them, transitioned the Facebook page into the 1776 Restoration Movement. So they were fundamental into the media the whole way and into the 1776 Restoration Movement. They weren't separate. They worked together with the People's Convoy to transition into the 1776 Restoration Movement. So that makes me believe that they're one and the same. Marcus had Santa on stage for 5 days leading up to the transition. Don't you think that's odd that he had him in a role of leadership and then he transferred over? I find it odd. Last night, Jersey J was giving a shout out to Brian Brossi that he had no issue with him. But Brian Brossi is the biggest liar ever. And he is the reason why there was a cult of pedophiles in downtown DC. And don't think for a second that he's not going to try to do it again, because he is trying to do it again. The disgruntled trucker had Mike Landis, Brian Brossi, and Ross from the Florida Convoy together. This is the power play I keep talking. Is a power play like super neat? And I don't think so. I don't know where everyone fits into that power play, but I know Nicola, American Freedom Convoy, that Soup Mama, and the Appalachian Flute are in on it. I know that Ross is trying to get in on it. They all want to be part of this next convoy, the next thing, right? And that New York People's Convoy and the Reawakening Tour, that's not too much far away from those people. Okay. So you will be seeing another convoy coming again. It's not over. Just because this group dispersed and everything, there's still a whole nother thing. And Jay talking with Wyckoff, them talking with Wyckoff, WYSIWYG talking with Wyckoff, Oriole talking with Wyckoff. Everyone's talking to Wyckoff. Wyckoff's really nobody. He steals cars and throws missiles into cars. And he ratted on everybody. He snitched so quick. All of his cases went to juvenile court, which makes me think he's a confidential informant. Yeah, and Hippie Mama was in charge of the money from the People's Convoy. So you have all those players that transition the People's Convoy into the 1776. And where did all that money go from? Like, because it is about following the money. Like, anybody who's into conspiracies knows that it's all about following the money, right? So the money went to the AFCLF, the American Freedom Civil Liberties Fund, AFCLF. Okay, that was the official. That was the official website that was on the People's Convoy's official website. They had WYSIWYG as the official streamer. Right, WYSIWYG? Are you going to verify that or not? Were you the official streamer? Or since you're here, do you want to say that you were the official streamer or not? I'll get rid of you. Keep looking behind you. I got rid of you. Thank you. Look, run. Yeah, he had Bandit on, Wizzy. I mean, come on, dude. Like, why didn't you have Bandit on 6? Why don't you go to lunch with him if he's a good guy? You should just go to lunch with him. But are you going to verify that you were on the official stream or not? Because I mean, I have it in my videos from way back there. I fucked that up. I messed that up. Sorry. I'm trying not to swear. Oh, it matters. It matters because why does it matter? It matters because we have to know how the convoy started so that we could better understand why we're in the position that we're in. And we have to know that we have to have some of the facts straight so we don't allow this to happen again, right? All right, I gotta try to get this thing off of the, I want to put someone else's. Let's get his on there. Yeah, because we're following the money, right? So WYSIWYG was the official streamer. I don't know if he's going to verify that or not, but I know that that's the truth because I did the research because it was on the website. I mean, it was just really on the website, but the money went to the American Freedom Civil Liberties Fund. Christopher Maston and Pamela Malik. Pamela Malik has 2 felonies for money fraud. So research that, learn about them. Yeah, he does not read well. And that's where the money went. So if you want to find out where the money went in, the American Freedom and Civil Liberties Fund. Now that organization had an address for one other event, and that was the Stop the Steal event. Is that interesting? I find that very interesting. I find it interesting that all the players of J6 that were involved with J6 played again this whole role of the convoy. And that includes Wizzy and Oriole and Fat Taco Joe. And that so on the right, and also includes on the left, Sandy Bachman and all of her AP crew. They're all players of this J6. And you can't say J6. Exemplar companies. Yes, exemplar companies is important. These are dots. You guys need to research them. You need to know about this. Lee Dundas was mad American trucks would go into DC the way the Canadian trucks. And I don't believe that Lee Dundas. I believe that Lee Dundas and Marlene Steele, which is her paralegal, who is one of the co-organizers of the convoy. And Lee Dundas is a lawyer, was or is a lawyer for the Church of Scientology. There's the Church of Scientology, right? How much of a role the Church of Scientology played in the People's Convoy, I'm not sure. But Lee Dundas, I believe, they all bailed ship after a while. No one stuck around. No one said anything afterwards. No one said anything about 1776, except for Mike Landis said that Santa had to be hung from a tree. That's what Mike Landis said. But no one said anything about this pedophile. No one said anything. They all just disappeared. So I have a lot of questions about them. And I believe that the convoy was a government hack job from the beginning. And I'm not sure if Oriole is a government agent or just a functional idiot. He's one of the two. He was running the Stop the Madness stuff, just like Lee Dundas was doing in upstate New York. Oriole was doing that around Fresno. So, and the person who ran the American Freedom Convoy, who Nicole is in charge of the American Freedom Convoy, right? That guy ran for governor of Maryland. All right. And they also had a governor, I believe it was the governor of North Carolina, a guy who was running for North Carolina. So everyone had their dirty little fingers. The guy from Maryland, he was the one who didn't force masks in the gym. And okay, let me look at this. Don't forget Scott and Chris's part. Yeah, I don't know who Scott is, but I know Chris, like them saying about the funds and stuff. I'm not sure who's taking the funds or who didn't take the funds or what, or if there was so much different fraud in the People's Convoy, from Rod raffling off his truck to the $16,000 at the end for rent to the millions. I mean, I believe there was $10-20 million that ran through the AFCLF and the cash donations, and Hippie Mama was involved with that, and Marcus and Allied Security. They spent thousands upon thousands of dollars on Allied Security. Taco Joe with the rub and toe. Lee Dundas, Scott McKay, Sasha Stone. Convoy was a grift. Lee Dundas, Scott McKay, and Sasha Stone. Can you guys give me some more? Can you email me at allouthomeconstruction@yahoo.com some information on that Scott McKay and Sasha Stone? I would love to find out more information about that. Talks to Santa on the phone. Okay, yeah. Can you give me more information or some videos about that? Control opposition. Yeah, I believe. What's up, American Doofus channel? So yeah, so if there's any other players that I should know about from the People's Convoy, because I know a lot of people want to say that they're disconnected, but I don't believe that they're disconnected. I believe it's the same government hack jobs from the get-go. And I know that people on the left don't like to hear that about J6, but I believe there's a lot more government involvement in it. Just like there's government involvement in this 1776, that I don't believe that Santa's a real Proud Boy. I believe that there are some Proud Boys that are not racist that are really good people. Are there Proud Boys that are racist? Absolutely. Is Santa a Proud Boy? I don't think so. I don't think that. Same with the 1776 as the J6ers and as the riots in Minneapolis. When I went, I got tear gas and shot with rubber bullets in Minneapolis. I was there for the George Floyd stuff. I filmed it, I live streamed it. And I think there was a lot of government actors in all of them, inciting violence, inciting damage. And I also believe that there was a lot of people who, along with those government actors, just were there to cause harm, to cause damage, to steal property, to damage property, to burn property. But I also believe that 95% of the people there were good people. Just like I believe 95% of the people at J6 were good people. 95% of the people at the BLM riots or the BML protests and stuff in Minneapolis were good people. It was that 5% that gave the rest of the 95% a bad name. And I believe that both groups have the right to protest just as much as the other group has the right to protest. And I will protect them, both of those groups, because I believe they both have the right to protest. So I guess I followed Scott McKay for a couple of years. He's the Reawakening Tour. Okay. Yeah. See, I don't think the Reawakening Tour is too much. There's a lot of players. I'm sorry if I'm not catching all these comments, man. Hopefully you guys send me some emails with some of this information. I just can't keep up with the comments here. Ton of inside information for you. All right, send it, man. All Out Home Construction, and I'll try to get that information out. I have W-2 forms from the American Freedom Convoy. I'm in a position as someone who went to the convoy that I saw it, and been talking with people, and the more information I get out, the more information comes to me. And yeah, I believe the convoy was a hack job from the beginning. And do I believe an occupation is an effective way of protest anymore? I don't think so. I don't know what a good protest is anymore. I question what good activism is. I know different tactics of activism, but how long do you stay? Do you go off grid and start canning and doing all that stuff? Is that an effective form of protest? Is that an effective form of protest with court support, with jury nullification, with activism, with going to trial, with suing? It is going on radio shows, real good activism, or some of it activism. I'm not sure. Gosh, there's so many comments. Ride a horse across America. I didn't talk to Wizzy because just when I talked to him on the phone, because I've had his number, I never doxed him or anything. I said I wanted to talk to the girls first, and he's like, "Oh, I thought you guys were separate," and we are separate, but I thought it was kind of shady that Freedom Squirrel went on and didn't like tell any of us. And I just don't need to go on the show. I'd rather go on like the American Doofus channel. I'd rather go on the Gap Tooth Girls channel. I'd rather go on like give Baldy Banks a little interview or something. He could like distort my face and make it into like a weird like cartoon. Or I'd like to go on America 2.0 Media, maybe do an interview and just kind of talk law, talk, whatever questions that they might have. Oh man, Tanya, Scott McKay. All right, so I gotta look into the Scott McKay. It was scams for money. Wizzy did the time of day he needs content. Yeah, and the whole pedophilia thing and all that, man. Sassy Pants, cannabis activism is where I started. Like that's where I became an activist 10 years ago, and it's really about court and going to jail and. I think we just need to end this J6 shit and just get people that have a jury trial, and then it's fucking over, right? Then we don't have to protest. Let's just get them out of trial. Let the court decide. Let them have their day in court and let that be done. Okay. We need to move past that and move on to the next thing. And hopefully we yeah, Freedom Ninja. I enjoyed our conversation in the hotel, and I lost the paper notes that I took of you, and I don't know where the hell that paper went, but yeah, I need some connections for that because I know a lot of what came down from Florida and some of the stuff that I was with the convoy from Oklahoma, Texas. So I got a lot of information going through there and just being with the convoy and just kind of just keep just doing my own thing. So yeah, so okay, and the People's Convoy, you have the money And I don't know how this all ties in with like the freedom outlaws and everything, right? Like there's more dots that need to be connected. And I know like I love dots, right? And my girl loves the dots too. I'm the Telegram page. And so the U.S. Transportation Alliance is huge. Okay. Learn about the U.S. Transportation Alliance. Michael Landis is still running the U.S. Transportation Alliance. They're about to do another rally here coming up, right? This month. And Mike Landis, Brian Brasi, and Marcus Summers all were involved with that. There was money for them to go to that. They never mentioned anything about the convoy. It was like secretive. It took 5 weeks before Brian said anything about it, about the U.S. Transportation Alliance. And that's a major player that was going on. That was the main core of the People's Convoy is the U.S. Transportation. Psst, the connections to some freedom outlaws are kinky. Yeah, porn. Oh, I think 10-4 DC new rally. Yep. And yeah, the porn industry is involved. Are they trafficking children? I can't say for sure, but they have all the means to do it if they wanted to do it. Okay. They have the refrigerated reefers are going into, these people aren't good people. And like my fraternity, my frat house, we would do a lot of community service so that the people could do bad things. And knowing that Vince from the Unity Tour up in Florida and that the Freedom Outlaws and Kip, that they're running supplies to disaster zones, I have big concerns about that, right? So I'm not going to make any claims about anything because I'm not sure, but we're trying to connect some dots and seeing, are there bigger things going on? Because we really feel like there might be. I came because of the People's Convoy. That was what I originally started, or not, for the U.S. Transportation Alliance, and for my name being dragged through the mud, and everyone telling me that I was wrong about that and wrong about Rat Rod. When I was hitchhiking across Oregon, I started talking with Squirrels and I started talking with AP, Anarchy Princess, and both kind of at the same time. Kind of went to Squirrels first, and then AP popped in, and AP was my determining factor that I was going to come. And at that point, it was about Rat Rod and calling out Big D. And as we started progressing towards DC, it became about the pedophile Bandit. I knew about Bandit. I didn't know that he was still with them and that he was still, that they were lying about him. But once they found out, that's what it became. It became about hunting the pedophile, right? And now what is it about? It's still about Frankie is trying to make a group in Oregon. Like the Freedom Outlaws, they're branched off now. We don't really know what's going on. Everyone's kind of all up in arms about what's going on. We're all trying to figure that out, right? Everyone's making some guesses, but only time will really tell how that. Only time will tell when that's going to kind of play itself out and what direction everyone thinks going. It feels like we were very successful in what we did. Very, very successful. And yeah, I'm not taking that away from us because we were successful in getting them out of Bunker Hill. And moving forward, I'm going to get through this court case personally. For me, just this 21st is like just weighing on me big time. I don't like having Become the Hunted, the More You Know, Operation Underground Railroad. Epic success. Shannon. That's Shannon, not, what was I saying? It wasn't, it's Shannon. Sorry, Shannon, I got that name. Nothing to do with getting them out of Bunker Hill. None of you did. Oh, Wizzy, come on. Don't be so, gosh, I think you need to get drunk or something. You need to like loosen up a little bit, man. We most definitely had something to do with it, or they wouldn't have gotten the restraining order. Just call them out, expose them. No, I'm trying my best to expose them. So I'm going to get through that through the thing. Once the restraining order stuff is done, that kind of eliminates a lot of this BS. It's no big players of the 1776ers. Like, it really isn't. It's just people that they think that they could throw away. So I am going to be hitting up one of these protests. I'm going to be protesting something coming up. I don't really want to tip my hand on that yet. I already have, but I'm just going to keep it in the DL for right now. And but no matter, depending on how this Freedom Outlaw stuff hits and how it plays out, if American Freedom, the AFC starts running convoys, I'm gonna go where they're at their rally points and be a counter protester. And I plan on being a counter protester to the convoys until, if there is a good convoy, I would support them. But right now, all the same players are still in it. You know, Wackoff is a liar, a snitch. He got beat up, and Red's talking to him, and JJ's talking to him, Oriole's talking to him. He's still part of it, and they're still gonna. When the next convoy comes through, they're all gonna do their thing, right? If there's a freedom movement, it won't cost you a dime. And you shut them both at DC, both down. Yeah, I did it with everybody, man. I really did. Nothing to do with it. He says, I called the convoy BS from the start. Yeah, I believed in the convoy from the start, man. Like, Oklahoma. Okay, why do you do something that makes a difference, like hunting or Oklahoma Predator Prevention Inc.? Lori made a huge difference. It's a different technique. We weren't predator hunters. We were part of the convoy. And it led into us being pedophile hunters, which is a pretty badass. That's how it migrated to, you know? And this is how legends are made. I'm still using that because it was all about getting in people's heads. I meant to send an email to Oklahoma Predator Prevention and let them know. Just opportunity. Yeah. There's an outside calling me. Oh my gosh, I can't keep up with everything. All right. Yeah, I just can't keep up. Yeah, Lori is a boss, man, and I can't. She's an amazing woman, man. Like, she's taught me how to be brave, and she just don't give a shit, and which is dangerous, and probably not the smartest thing sometimes, Lori. But you are the bravest woman I know, followed closely by AP. And with bravery comes stupidity, and there's a fine line. And I don't know. I walk that fine line. Bally banks do that short. Kind of sound right. Careful on dialogue. Yeah, I'm working on the dialogue. I'm Ren Ruffin. So after the court date, are you moving on from protesting David in the 1776 RM? All right. Well, it seems like the 1776 RM is kind of dying. They split up. Sounds like the criminal aspects are going one way and the other guys are going the other way. I will probably stay with the criminal aspects of it, right? And there's a lot to research. There's a lot of information that needs to come out still. And I'm all about freedom and protecting freedom and standing up for freedom, but I'm not going to support another convoy that is built on the same foundation that the original one was built, right? And so I will protest those people and call them out until they're not any type of effective. And I don't think I'm really that special or anybody, but I now have an audience to where I can be somewhat of effective, and us together, we could shut down things if we need to shut them down in a good way and within the law, right? Because this whole time I felt like I did my best to try to stay within the law. Now I know I ventured outside of that and some people's opinions, right? But for the most part, and I want to talk a little bit about the body shaming. I really don't feel bad about body shaming Jalen. I watched Jalen watch Oriole take a slingshot and shoot rocks at Lori's face. I don't feel bad at all for saying cottage cheese legs. Not at all. Like, maybe you guys might think it's more important not to body shame because there's some ethical thing, but I literally watched her watch Oriole shoot rocks at Lori and shoot rocks at her face. I don't have any shame in body shaming her at all. None. Do I body shame people? No. Did they body shame Jay Met, man, like the first day. And that was why Wyckoff that was it for me with Wyckoff. When they allowed that to happen with Wyckoff, I was done. And so like I didn't want nothing to do with it, but they allowed that to happen. And so when you allow that to happen, you don't stop it, then you open up the door to allow that to happen back to you. I feel no shame in it. I didn't go after anyone's teeth. I have gone after Red's teeth in the last week or two here, just because he was my friend and now he's my enemy. And when you're my friend, you become my enemy. You get a lot different. You get a lot different me. I was gonna play the song "All I Want." All I want for Christmas is my two front teeth, but I thought that would be a little raw, and I'm trying to move away from that attacking, because I think that's kind of like I'm done with it. And and so yeah, I just want to move away from all that. I'm here because of the children. I'm here because there was children running around with the pedophiles. What I started this journey for and what it is now is different. I think that these people are still gonna try to continue doing stuff, and I want to continue to be a thorn in them. I also want to go and do some things and have some fun with my life, because this is way too stressful. I don't want to be doing this all the time. A lot of people through emails and personal stories have shared their stories of being raped and molested. And I feel special that that people feel comfortable sharing those stories with me, and they feel that somehow I'm bringing them some type of justice. And I heard some girls come up to AP in DC and say that, and truthfully, like, that shit's deep as fuck, man. Excuse my language. That's deep. It's deep to hear someone's rape story and molestation story. And I've heard so much of it in the last 6 weeks or 2 months. And I could do that like part-time, right? Like I can't do that full time. That's just way too much. That's way too deep for me, right? Like, I'm an empath. I take in energy, and I'm glad that people have shared that with me, right? And I can't do that full time though. That's just too much. And not like trying to disrespect anybody, right? Like, it's just, that's a lot to take in and hear all the time, right? And I think I'm getting better at it. I just haven't had that many people share that type of story with me. And yeah, I just it's deep. So I think I want this to be like a part-time thing with me, where I can come and go, take breaks, because I think this is all of our battle, not just my battle. I'm just one player of many, many players. And hopefully we could share the responsibility of the boots on the ground and the activism, and we have. So I don't exactly know how it's going to move forward, right? Or what the goals of moving forward are, but I will be bringing out as much information I can about the People's Convoy and why I believe it was a fraud. I'm going to continue bringing out information about the Freedom Outlaws and their gang and the criminal activities and their possible connections to women and children trafficking, possibly gun trafficking, drug trafficking. Again, don't know about any of this being a completely truthful, but there's just evidence that tends to show that, right? And I will protest groups that I believe are bad people. And I might not be with all the people here back and forth with us and everything. I'm not sure where everyone's going to go or how they're going to do it. So I just kind of wanted to like clarify like where I'm coming from. And I'm trying to think of what else I was supposed to talk about. Yeah. So the biggest thing is it's about protecting children for me and for my friend. And I think for a lot of us, the children that were in that parking lot, and, you know, being unsupervised, about the TPC, about the 1776 and where they go forward. And for me, these streamers who are just like, it's about money and like content, like, I'm not going to be live streaming all the time. I don't want you guys worrying about me. I don't want my whole life, like, to be constantly under attack by people. Like, that's not the life I want to live. My channel's not monetized. It's a little monetized, but I didn't even, it's not hooked up. Basically, I don't have my social security number attached to it or anything. So I haven't gotten any money from YouTube, and I don't plan on getting any money from YouTube. My YouTube is a tool for activism, and yeah, so don't worry about me when I'm not going on. I got court on the 21st. You're gonna see more of me. I'm gonna go live and do a thank you for everyone who's donated money. I appreciate you. I'm trying to make some little money with my eBay store before I go off. I got my rent paid off until the 22nd of next month, and I got to send money for my phone bill for a couple months, so I'm pretty much set. And so there's going to be more coming up. I don't know if this is the 3rd chapter, 5th chapter, 7th chapter, final chapter. I have no clue. I might go to jail. I might not go to jail. I might have a good court date. I might not. I might have a restraining order. There's all sorts of stuff. I have no idea what I'm doing. I am going to try better with my language. I can't guarantee anything. I think people need to get off of this whole language thing and being upset about the language. I'm going to continue to call out the streamers who, with their lies, and I'm getting a little better with my video edits and a little better with like my production of my videos. And hopefully someday I'll get some help with that. Yeah, so I think that's about it. I'll be live again to do the money thing. I like being live for the money thing. I appreciate it, everyone. Yeah, I got the Rewilding store on eBay. Send me a message on there, and send me an offer if you think something's. I put most of my stuff up a little high, and then people just send offers. And so, how much do you want for the cup? You like that? That was it's like a vintage. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool cup, man, with the run. Yeah, I do want to come on Doofus. Whenever you want to come on, you're just welcome to just email and it's done. Take care of yourself, man. No, thank you, American Doofus. Thank you for covering it. I'm gonna try to do all the small channels. I'm not saying he's a small channel. I'm just saying that I want to do all the channels and try to get on with Lori and AP too. See if we can get all 3 of us on. And again, I'm not taking credit away from all those other guys. I know they were talking a lot of shit about me last night. And that's okay if they want to talk shit. I've had people talk shit about me my whole life, so it doesn't really affect me. It actually motivates me more. But they all they all helped with what we did, right? Some a lot smaller than others, but they all played a little role. I'm not going to take that away from them. Stop calling Lori. Stop talking about Lori sleeping with people, because I'm going to keep coming after you if you keep going with that. Yeah. Peace. Thank you for being you. Thank you guys for sharing here. I'm sorry I didn't get to all the comments. I just wanted to check in and kind of give you like throw it out there. I think I might auction off the cup maybe tomorrow, the next day. I'll put it up on a 3-day auction on eBay, and I'll do the cup, the gift bag, and a flag, and we could have just fun with it, and I could just run an auction on eBay, and that would be the fairest thing, I think. Yeah, it's the gift bag that they gave us, the cup, and one of the flags. I'll just sign it. And signing stuff is stupid, but I put DOA. I'll put DOA on it. You know, hug somebody. Thanks for being you. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for all the help. Thank you for all the interactions and the comments and the criticism. I'm far from perfect, and I make a lot of mistakes. Moving forward, I'm going to try to keep the body shaming to a minimum to most people. I'll watch my language. I still have some new costumes and stuff that I want to premiere, but we'll see when I do that. So I love all you guys. Thank you for standing up for freedom. If you could come to the court on the 21st in Berkeley County, that would be great. We need your support. And if there's a time to come, that would be the day to come and just make sure we're safe. The more people we have there, the least likely something bad could happen to us. All right. Much love.